Hello and welcome back to Norland. And yes, this is going to be another Norland video. Now, I know I mentioned in the last, I think it was the last episode of the Peter playthrough, or it might have been in the development roadmap video, I mentioned I would be stepping back a little bit from the Norland videos. So what are we doing here? Well, after I played around with the new beta branch update, I have renewed, let's say, interest in the game. It has changed quite a bit for me, and as well as that, I think there is just still more that we can do. So, what are we going to do here today? Well, I was actually thinking that my next playthrough would be on Varn, but honestly, I think... So here's my thought process when it comes to cultures. So a lot of people will put Varn as like the number one culture, and that is actually why I went with Caden. Partially why. The main reason I went with Caden in our first playthrough was just because I like combat-based games, or gameplay, I suppose. And then Tanea seemed challenging, and so I enjoyed going with that. Now, a lot of people actually put Makhan as the bottom tier culture. I disagree with this. I actually think that it's pretty much Varn is definitely the best because it allows you to get all the resource management things out of the way very, very early on in the game. And then I would say Caden because they are just so good at military and everything. And then I would actually say Makhan's the best after those two. And the reason I say that is mainly because Tanea is just so terrible. After we played with it, and Dark Deeds are just not it. They are not good in any way. And as well as that, Makhan, while they have problems with the loving family who views us with suspicion, I did jump into a game just to like check out the lay of the land and everything before starting this series, and actually the loving family does not seem to hate you too terribly. They're just suspicious. They're just generally suspicious, and you can get around this by just taking care of bandits and that sort of thing. But the real draw with the Makhan is how good they are with trade. So basically, maybe it's not even the valuing trade. It does make trading easier, though. But the other thing really is the brewery and their alchemy production bonus, and yeah. So that's what we're going with. Now, what about our family here? Well, our king is going to be named Amrauer. As you can see here, he is mainly a management-focused character. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be able to get the Chancellery, and then immediately just have a I guess you could say a well-organized main city, while we kind of go through the map. But this is actually going to be a challenge run. I think Makhan is good enough for this. I think everything that we have here is going to be good enough. I'll explain the challenge in a minute, but just to go over everything, so he has a medium manner skill, a medium trade skill, a low persuasion skill, a medium intelligence skill, high management skill, no teaching skill at all, a medium to low combat skill, and a very low command skill. Now, this is, of course, what he looks like, and he is empathetic, so his social thoughts are enhanced. This means, I think, that if somebody near him, or it's somebody that he's hanging out with, like, is upset or something, that might affect him. I'm not completely sure. I'm assuming that this is actually, like, a not as good positive trait. It could, if they are having good experiences with the person that they're hanging out with, that might help them. But anyways, then his negative trait is going to be unattractive. So we're going to be ugly, and this actually hurts you with local kings. So they're going to dislike us a little bit. Now, Unetra is our wife, and she has a 3 manners skill, 1 in trade skill, 1 in persuasion skill, 6 in intelligence, 1 in management, 3 in teaching, and then 6 in combat and 13 in command. And that's what her bonus is as well, is the command skill. So as you can see, she is going to be our military strategist. Makes perfect sense, right? Now, she is going to be beautiful, so she's going to have a strong interest from other characters. She is also going to be envious, so she's more prone to feeling envious towards others. And yeah, so this could make her kind of an interesting foil to her husband. Now, Cormon is going to be our son, and he is also going to have the management skill trait, and he is going to be calm. All nervous breakdowns are light, and he's going to be cynical, so social thoughts are weaker, as well as thoughts about the death of loved ones. So with that out of the way, we can go ahead and hit continue, and then I will explain the challenge rules to you. Okay, so here we are on the map, and we're probably going to go Crystallite. So last time, well actually, the Canute series, we were at Brightvale. That's, as you can see here, it's decently easy on, you have a good amount of wood, decent fertility for things like rye, and then you have a little bit of herbs, which we actually never made any use of in that game. In Frostkeep, however, you have good wood production, and you have good iron production. However, you have terrible fertility, and you have no herbs. And we did try to search for herbs in some episode, and we were unable to. And I was an idiot, and I never actually looked at the resources before we dropped in here. So, that wasn't smart. Now, I think that this is going to be a little bit more difficult than Brightvale was. I actually think that this one should count as a difficult start, because you don't have very much wood. You have the iron, but I'm starting to realize that iron, through these 2 playthroughs, we tried to make strong use of iron, and I don't think it's the best way to handle your city. Now, the reason that I kept doing it was, just trying to do something a little bit different than what the current meta is. Pretty much everybody just kind of focuses on, things like rye and wood, and I think it's a little bit boring in some ways. But with that out of the way, we will have decent herbs here, and we have low fertility. So I think this is going to be still a bit of a difficult start, but hopefully not too terribly difficult. So we're going to do this for our banner. We're going to do rye on both of our villages, actually. Now, as for the challenge, so what I thought would be interesting is if we basically make every culture that are neighbors with each other, right? To make them into kingdoms. So as you can see, Stardale, we're just going to basically have the suzerain be the one that's closest to us. So this will make them more powerful looking, and kind of maybe make them a little threatening to us. So as you can see, we're going to be totally surrounded here by one of the kingdoms. I have no idea what's going to happen here, really. But we're going to do the same thing here with Makhan. And then enchantment, maybe? So that's all the Tanea ones. Oops. There we go. Now, Canaan. And wow, that's a big one. And then Crystallia here. And I think, okay, and then Misthaven, Goldshire, and Greenspire. So then you look at the map, and the only non-kingdom is going to be Sparkfall over here. They're all alone. Poor guys. Don't worry, Crystallite is in your shoes as well. So, like I said, I have no idea what's actually going to happen here. We are going to be surrounded on all sides by relatively powerful kingdoms. So this should be pretty interesting. Okay, so do we want to do any kind of a scenario? I am thinking probably no, but we are going to do Old Grudges. Now, Old Grudges basically makes it so everybody who has a xenophobia towards each other will hate each other even more. And as far as I understand, this makes it basically so, at being Makhan, right? If anybody in Tanea ends up in our village, be it a lord, like if we try to hire a lord, that's Tanea, they will end up getting killed. Basically, someone of our lords will end up killing them. And I think maybe that'll happen with peasants too, I'm not totally sure. Now, what else do we want here? Trade decline after war. No, I don't think we need any of these. One thing that could be interesting is strength in numbers. This will make it so peasants and prisoners, migrants and prisoners, yes, will start with a 5 to 10 combat skill. This could be kind of interesting, but I don't think it's really necessary. Yeah, I don't think we need that. We will go normal. Yes. So I think this may even be, in the end, more difficult than our Frostkeep Peter game. But we shall see. So here we are in the map, in the game, and while I start to set up some of this stuff, I'm just going to kind of do it without too much commentary on that. But what I will mention while I do this is, as far as Norland videos go, I do think, even though I am continuing here, I think these will be a little less, I guess, common uploads. Maybe only a couple a week, for a little while. And that's just because, really, I want to branch out to some other things, maybe do a little more of the first impressions kinds of videos, just do something a little bit different. Probably do that for a couple of weeks or so, and then we'll get right back to Norland and finish up, of course, the series. But just in general, I don't want to burn through all of the content from Norland too quickly, and then end up being completely bored of it. But at least for now, I mean, this is kind of what I would consider like my comfort game. I just love getting on it every single time, and it really does not seem to get old. So yeah, expect more first impressions sorts of videos. There is a couple of demos I already have installed right now. And I would expect to have a couple of those videos out within the next few days. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get that built, and we will build ourselves a library. It's going to be the most important thing, of course. Can't do any research without your library. So we're going to build that first. We'll set Amrauer here. We'll go to our army. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody cheap, so we may just have to buy this, or pay for this guy, I suppose. Now, at the same time, we're going to want to get our fields going right away. We'll do something like that. And since we have poor... Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't even realize, but we're able to start with a hop field. Oh, that's pretty nice. Okay. Free hop field. I don't think that's normal. I wonder if that's because we're Makhan, or is that just a random chance thing no matter what? I have no idea. We'll go ahead and place one of them. Maybe even a second, but for right now, just the one I think is fine. Do we need rutabaga? I think we're just gonna do 2 hop fields, actually. Yeah. But yeah, since we have low fertility, we have no fertile ground anywhere. So we're just gonna do those right there. Library is done. So we'll put Unetra there on the rye field, and we'll put... I know I said that we weren't going to focus on the mine, but that doesn't mean we can't at least do it. But we're probably going to start with keeping prisoners. Get the prison ward. Alright, now what we need is to set up our lumber mill. And we'll probably actually set up a couple of these, probably say 2 for now. And we're also going to set our warehouse over here. Now, once we have some production stuff going on in the city, we'll have a second warehouse in here. I actually think this is probably a better setup than moving your lumber mills like all over. Like we had like one up here and then one over here and one down here. I actually think grouping them like this is probably a little bit better until you're cutting down too many of your forest maybe. And then you want to cut out this forest. But the way this map is set up, because of the way the rocks are here and everything, I just think this is a little bit better of a setup. So now we're going to place an altar. We'll just put it there. And then we need our tavern. Actually, maybe we'll put the tavern here instead. Tavern there. Altar here. Another dormitory here. That seems good. Now, we actually want Unetra to stay here. And we would like Amrour to come over here. Good. Amrour, you can handle this. Now let's take a look at the map a little bit. We have a camp of forest bandits already over here. We have... Oh, nobody hates us. Oh, they all like us. That is perfect. Okay. I'm glad that if we're going to be surrounded, it's going to be by the Varns. That's probably a good way to start, but we do have... I think this was where the Cadans were? Or wait, no, the Cadans are right here. Who are these guys again? Were they Tanea, or were they another Cadan? I don't remember. I think these ones are Varns. No, wait, no. I think these ones were Tanea. Wow, I have a terrible memory. Either way, though. Now, since we have hops, we don't need to buy hops. We can do one trade route for right now. I wonder... We might just save the paper, though, because I don't really need the iron either. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and save it. Should we try to improve our relationships, maybe, with somebody? I don't think it's super important right now. So we'll just wait until we can get an army going, and then we will go over there and take out that camp. Insufficient workers already? Yeah, we need 2 workers. We should get some migrants soon, though. Now, we will just go ahead and have... Oh, there's no flesh pools available yet, so we'll just have Amrour and Unetra spend some time together. The trader's already here, that's great. Elsa, do we want to hire Elsa? Ooh, wow. Okay, she's another good commander. And she's actually good at management as well. Wow, she's this good and she's only 31. What is... She's good at like everything. She can even be the teacher, because we don't really have anybody that can teach our son here. The best is Unetra at 3. Oh, she only has 3 too. Never mind. Okay, so we will hire you. I mean, with that 10 combat skill, you can go into Unetra's party, squad, or whatever. That'll be pretty useful. Okay, we're gonna buy a couple of maces. We probably want... Let's see. They already have theirs equipped. Yes. She already has one. Wow, she has armor and everything, too. Okay. And maybe... Do we want any bows? Probably not for right now. We might buy a couple of medical salves as well. 5 isn't really enough if we start getting injured. And maybe even a little bit of paper. 5? Yeah, that seems good. And is there anything else here that we want immediately? Probably not. No, that's all good. Anything here? Herbalist. We do have the herbs, and Makhan are actually able to do the brewery and the alchemy, so they'll be able... Nectar may actually be a possibility in this playthrough. We'll have to see. We also want the temple, of course. We do want the scaffold, but we might wait on that. I think we will. This gives us something to work on. I think temple is probably the most important right now. Okay, this is actually a pretty good first day. Hammer hour on this. We may actually put Elsa on this. Yeah, you go ahead and work on that, Elsa. Build a little more road. Alright. I actually like the start that we have here. So I went with a challenging start. But I'm kind of wondering, I mean, is this kingdom going to end up getting taken over by this one? If they do, then it may be a little bit more troublesome. Now, one thing, there's not really much for rules in this, but I was thinking that we just refuse entirely to join any kind of alliance or anything like that. Like, we can start one of our own, but we can't join into, say, Stardale here. And that goes for any others. So if they try to forcibly join us into their as their vassal, then we essentially have to fight them. But yeah, so we will see, but this is a decent start so far. And we will have to see where things go, but I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.